And joining us now, pleased to have with us here today, Molly Pelzer, CEO of Midwest Dairy. Molly, great to catch up with you. Hope you're doing well today.
Doing great and excited for the opportunity to visit with you today.
Well, I appreciate it. Let's jump right in. And I know it's been a busy year throughout agriculture. It's been an interesting year in agriculture and really around the world. But let's just talk a little bit about just the year that dairy had in 2022 as we near the end of the calendar year. I know Midwest Dairy, Checkoff, you guys did a lot of collaboration with retail and food service to try and increase dairy sales. Just a lot of things you guys had going on. So talk about the year in 2022 for dairy.
You bet. Well, the bottom line is driving demand for dairy. And Midwest Dairy is very focused on driving demand and sales, especially with retail and food service partners. We know that we have to work with and through partners to reach consumers. And our retail and food service partners are fantastic. They help us stay ahead of what consumers of all ages are looking for in their dairy choices. We focused on e-commerce. So buying groceries online is one of those sticky behaviors from the pandemic. And we have certainly identified e-commerce or shopping online for groceries as a way to have dairy stand out. And we're working to get a variety of dairy products well represented both online and in the store. So as e-commerce has gained in popularity, we want to make sure that while you're driving that virtual dairy cart around those online purchases and those websites, that we help consumers navigate to those dairy products.
Well, I know as well, navigating those dairy products in the store and more, I think about consumer trust, Molly, and that's something that I think has been huge in agriculture, and dairy is no exception to that. Talk a little bit about just how the Checkoff and Midwest Dairy, what are some of the ways that you guys have worked to build some trust in dairy products here with the consumers?
What we strive to do at Midwest Dairy is to work with partners again to bring dairy to unexpected places. And we're particularly focusing on that Gen Z audience, that 10 to 24-year-old. They're skeptical. They're skeptical about a lot of things, but they want to know more about dairy. They like to be reminded of its nutrition powerhouse capabilities, and they're very excited to learn about dairy's role in a healthy planet. So we were excited to reach out to consumers. One of my favorites was the Men's College World Series, part of the National College Baseball Championships. They attracted over 400,000 fans at the Omaha Baseball Village. And we were thrilled to have the opportunity to bring farmers to that conversation, dairy samples, interactive activities, and really get those ballpark visitors a farm experience. And they were thrilled to learn about how they can refuel for their everyday activities as well as their baseball passions with dairy.
That's awesome. Fantastic stuff there. I know too, in agriculture, we need advocates or advocates. I've sometimes, heard them referred to as, and that's in order to build trust. That's just get our message out there about what we do in agriculture. And I know Midwest Dairy, I believe you guys have worked on some ways to create some advocates for the Checkoff. Talk about that a little bit, Molly.
Thank you, Jesse. Absolutely. Creating dairy checkoff advocates is one of our 6 pillars in our strategic plan. And I think processors and decision makers who make policy need to know about the role of the dairy checkoff. But most importantly, our farmers, those that are providing that investment in checkoff resources. So just this year, we launched a new campaign called Make Every Drop Count. And it's a nationwide farmer-focused effort to build awareness among the nation's 30,000 dairy farm families about how the checkoff is working every day on their behalf.
Well, Molly, this is probably the one thing I'm excited about as well that I want to ask you as we wrap up the year and we head towards 2023. What are you most excited about for dairy going into next year? I mean, what are some of the things that are on the minds of you and the folks there at Midwest Dairy? What are you excited about going to next year?
There's a lot of excitement and optimism at Midwest Dairy. I think one of the things that we strive to do is stay ahead of consumer changes in the marketplace. And we know that oftentimes means innovation in packaging and in products as well. So we're excited to work with our processor and cooperative communities, along with our land grant colleges through the Midwest Dairy Foods Research Center, to support that dairy innovation and to solve consumer challenges when it comes to dairy. We know that collaboration is the key across the entire dairy industry in the United States, and we want to do our part to work with DMI and other states and regions to promote dairy.
Well, Molly, as well, real quick, before we wrap up, I'm sure if folks want to learn more about the checkoff and all the great things that Midwest Dairy is doing, I'd have to think MidwestDairy.com, probably a great place to start, isn't it?
It is. You know, we take great pride in having a resource online on our website where dairy farmers can learn about how we're sharing their story. And I think importantly, our own metrics. So we have a scorecard where we have set measurable goals for each of our 6 pillars in our strategic plan. And we invite everyone to visit there to learn more about how we are investing their checkoff dollars and resources to advance dairy sales and trust in dairy as well.
Again, MidwestDairy.com. Molly, before we let you go, any other final thoughts for us? Anything else you want to reiterate before we wrap it up today?
You know, Jesse, this is a time of year where we stop and reflect about how thankful we are for so many things. And dairy farmers definitely nourish the world. To be a dairy farmer means participating in a legacy of commitment to caring for animals and care of the land and the water and the air. And they're really serving to feed people around the world. So as we celebrate good food and good cheer, be sure to include dairy in your menus as you wind up the year.
Couldn't agree more with that. CEO of Midwest Dairy, Molly Pelzer. Appreciate the time. Thanks for joining us today. Happy holidays, and we'll hope to talk to you again real soon.
Thanks, Jesse.